We're shipping Father's Day gifts with a rapid-fire round of questions. Ready?
Yes. My gift. Can you pack it?
Yep.
Ship it.
Yes.
Guarantee it.
Of course.
Oh, send a set of golf clubs.
Oh, hole-in-one.
Protect electronics. Dog-proof it. Return it if they hate it.
Yes, no, and yeah.
Are you the UPS store?
Hey, we have a winner!
Visit theupsstore.com/guarantee for full details. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Visit a store today.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. Hours at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the ring, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 280th episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with the proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Sumwitz. I am the host of this lovely show. Joining with me, as always, is my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how are you doing?
Dude, I've been waiting for this moment all my life.
I used to pray for time like this, around like this.
Dude, a certain announcement on AEW completely changed the direction of the show, but I am doing well. I had a great weekend in Dallas. Did this thing called Dallas Fan Expo. Met John Cena, 20-something years in the making. Met him. Met John Boyega, Finn from Star Wars.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, it was
I'm going to tell you right now, dude, if there's anything to come out of the new trilogy that I like, John Boyega is one of those guys I'm got the utmost respect for, because that dude is, he's a badass. He's a class act. He's one of those guys I'd love to just chat with. Like, he just seems like such a down-to-earth dude.
He seemed very cool. Anthony Daniels, C-3PO. So I've literally, at this point, because I met Diego Luna, I have met a person that was a star in literally every Star Wars movie at this point.
Wild.
At least one person from every movie. So me and Tiffany were talking about who's our guts gets, and I'm like,
I think you got everybody.
Yeah, I was say Daisy Ridley would be one.
Facts. Okay.
And then Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford's never going to do a con. He's never done one. So so pretty much the only one left for me is Daisy Ridley. In 2027, me and Tiffany are doing a Star Wars Celebration, which is just like the massive Star Wars con, and it's in LA. And I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not going to be as, the meet and greet part of it is not going to be my thing, because I've, at this point, kind of met everybody. Man. Yeah. I've met a lot of people, and it was funny because if it comes down to it, I wouldn't even call myself a Star Wars fan. I met Tiffany in 2019, and she was like Star Wars Tiffany. She would go back and forth on her names depending on what time it was. And I was like, how many Star Wars people have you met? And she was like, none. I was like, fuck that. We're fixing that. And that started me down this Star Wars thing. So I've met so many Star Wars people. People think I'm a massive Star Wars fan. And I always say,
No.
I watched it. I like them, but she's the fan.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me Star Wars or Star Trek, I'm more of a Star Trek guy. So it's it's funny because I just started down this path because of my friend, and it has been pretty fun. I've met a lot of cool people. Ashley Eckstein, she is the voice of Ahsoka in the Star Wars animated series. She's probably one of my best meet and greets ever. She understands the assignment. Like, when you meet her, she is very much Cody, how Cody is when he meets his people. She tries to make every experience perfect. Like, I met her the first time. I had no idea who she was. I had never watched Clone Wars. I had never watched anything. I literally was meeting this person to get something signed for Tiffany. And she took that time and talked to me and asked questions about Tiffany. She just made this experience, and she literally made a fan to the point I went home and started watching the Star Wars animated series because she made this person that had no idea who she was. I couldn't have picked her out of a lineup, but she made that moment so special that I was like, okay, I'm going to check you out kind of thing. So she's probably one of my favorite meets ever. Yeah, so this whole Star Wars world, I've met a few people through Star Wars, but it just started because I was like, hey, I'm trying to help my friend meet all her heroes or whatever. So
there you go.
But yes, I had a really, really good weekend. Had some wonderful steak from this amazing steak place in Dallas. Had this place called Papados in Dallas. I spent a lot of money on food. Got some cool shirts. I got this, at this shoe place, got this Yoda shooting lightning out of his hand shirt. I thought it was pretty cool because I'm trying to diversify my wardrobe because my wardrobe is 95% wrestling shirts.
Welcome to my life. Yeah, that's basically it.
So trying to diversify it. So I'm not going to go on anywhere, but just know I am doing really, really well. My birthday is in 28 minutes. It will be 5 days on June 10th. You will be getting a special, just because I want to do it on my birthday. You're going to get a special 30 minutes to an hour of just me talking shit. It's probably going to be the least wrestling related podcast ever because I'm just going to talk about the last year of my life. But it's going to be on this feed. So if you want to celebrate my birthday with me, go ahead and download it. But other than that, yeah. Let's do this, man.
Let's get into it, man.
I mean, Tony Khan, he just somehow made a 4-hour TV show into basically one moment. There's only one thing people are going to be talking about this week.
From tonight, yes. Basically only one thing is going to matter for people coming out of tonight, and it's pretty easy to understand. Now, real quick, the one thing I did want to mention real quick, though, is that I am so hyped with all the AEW stuff that's been going on now, the big news that we got tonight. Literally, I'm in this mode right now. I just need my Nintendo Switch 2 to show up at my front door tomorrow, and I'm just going to be loading up Mario Kart, and I'm just going to be fucking playing that shit until the sun rises up, because I have never gotten a console day one. I've gotten a console year one. I got my Nintendo Wii from my parents, I think the first year it came out. They had to fight through hell and high water to get one. Because of that whole thing with how hard it was to get a Wii. I've got an Xbox One year one. That was a mistake. That was a fucking big mistake. I did love that console, even though it was not that good. And then I think I got the Switch, year one as well. But never day one. So the fact that tomorrow my Switch is supposed to show up at my front door and I'm going to have a Switch 2, I'm super fucking excited about. And that's been mostly what's on my mind. So I was forcing myself. I'm like, Austin, take notes, pay attention, because we got a big 4 hours of AEW tonight. I know you care only about the Switch 2 right now. You need to focus up. And I did. I focused up. I was lined up. This was also while the freaking first game of the Stanley Cup Finals was happening. That went into overtime. So my mind was all different places right now. But, bro, I'm so glad I paid attention because we had so much fun wrestling tonight. And, again, the biggest news probably of All In that we were going to get, which we were all expecting, but just to have it in front of us and know that it's happening, fucking yes. So we got a lot to get into, guys.
Oh, yeah. While I was gone, I got my Swerve shoes.
Yeah, you did. They look fire.
Yeah, my Answer 3s. I'm going to wear them at one show that weekend. I don't know which one, but I'm going to wear them at one show.
One of them, at least, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so real quick, just before we get into everything, guys, we want to make sure you're downloading this fine show on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Give us some support by sharing us around with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Rate, review, subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. And you can also follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. You can also follow at Social Suplex, who make this show possible. Check out all the other shows they have on their network. I am at Austin Sumowicz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees and check out some shirts from the Social Suplex guys, including ourselves. And then sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Links are in the description of the show. Big news of the week. What the fuck do you think it's going to be? It's Omega Okada in the States for the first time ever. Chapter 5 of the probably greatest rivalry in the history of professional wrestling. The series of matches that opened my eyes to this world of wrestling that I did not know, like, full stop. I started watching wrestling in 2009. 2011, when CM Punk dropped the pipe bomb, I became aware of Ring of Honor, New Japan, those types of shows. I saw clips. I would watch shows of Ring of Honor every once in a while when they would pop up on my TV whenever I was able to catch it. New Japan, no chance. I just couldn't stay up for those shows. But that series of matches was when I finally was able to realize like what I was missing. And it was my introduction to a lot of things regarding AEW with the Elites and Kenny Omega as a wrestler, Kazuchika Okada. Those matches mean a lot to me, and they mean a lot to a lot of wrestling fans. And they've all taken place. All 4 of them have taken place in Japan. And for the first time, it's happening in the United States. And myself, Floyd, my sister Sydney, a bunch of our friends, we're all going to be in attendance at Globe Life Field to see Omega Okada in person. I've been very fortunate as a wrestling fan. I've been to a lot of incredible moments that I will say, to be able to say I was there for that means a lot. First Double or Nothing, All In Chicago 2018, The First Dance, Rampage, All Out 2021, my favorite wrestling show of all time. So many great moments I've experienced in person as a wrestling fan. This could top all of them, genuinely. This being in the building for this match, the match that once New Japan started working with AEW and there was that partnership, we were like, when are we getting this match? And we're getting it now. Winner take all for the International and Continental Championships. Fucking let's go.
Dude, I am not at a lack of words, but I feel like I don't have the right words to convey the levity of this. Mm-hmm. January 4th, 2017. I think this was the second or third Wrestle Kingdom I had ever watched. I tuned in because Cody was debuting in New Japan, and he was debuting the American Nightmare character in New Japan, and he was wrestling Juice Robinson. And, I tuned in, made sure I got the Wrestle Kingdom subscription, and got it. And in the main event, a guy, I guess I saw him in New Japan, but that guy I had never heard of, Kazuchika Okada, was wrestling Kenny Omega in the world title match. And, I knew who Shibata was. I knew who Goto was, like, from different shows. But I was a WWE guy. I cannot convey this enough that I was a WWE guy. I would, whatever WWE had on, I would watch. TNA, if I heard about a storyline or Impact at the time, I would tune in for it, but I was a WWE guy. WWE, NXT, all that shit never missed an episode. And so, in my mind, wrestling was one way. Wrestling was performed and done one way. A great match at that point, you got John Cena versus CM Punk, his match with Kevin Owens. That was my level of what a great match was. Then I saw Kenny Omega versus Okada. I came out of this show. I kind of heard who Kenny Omega was because he was the first non-Japanese person or Canadian to win the G1. I knew Okada had been the champ for a long time. So I come into this match fully expecting Omega to win. And over the next 46 minutes and 45 seconds, I both aged, and I matured in my wrestling fandom, and I became a kid again because I didn't know who was going to win that match. I didn't know nothing enough about New Japan to have a inkling of who was going to win that match. And they go, and then, Okada wins, and it was just such a beautiful thing. It was the best, at that time, the best wrestling match I'd ever seen. It, and I don't think it was remarkably close. Then this guy named Dave Meltzer, who, again, was not familiar with, gave the match 6 stars out of 5. And I was like, how does that work? And he apparently he had only broken the scale like 2 times before then. Again,
this is before we were accustomed to his scale being broken a ton of times.
He obliterated the scale. But on that night, I think this is the first time this had ever been on that card, was the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Hangman Adam Page was in the match, and Kenny Omega was in the main event. And if you're catching what I'm doing, that was the Elite. Like, minus Marty Scurll, who I don't know if we're allowed to talk about, the foundation of AEW was kind of set that night, as far as the people that would become the names in AEW. And I mean, then the next year, that was when the Jericho Omega match happened the next year, and that's what Tony Khan saw and decided to make this beautiful thing. But the night of wrestling probably had more of an impact on my life than Wrestle Kingdom 11. So I saw Kenny Omega and Okada, and that changed my life. And I've always wanted to see that match live. And it's only happened in Japan. It has only happened in Japan. And they've all been amazing, and including the Dominion match, which happened, technically, it happened on June 9th, right? Mm-hmm. But, it happened on June 9th. And my birthday's on June 10th. So me and my friend Ryan Aaron, he came over my house, and we stayed up all that night watching that match. And it was just like, this is professional wrestling. This is what it hadn't been in my lifetime. Professional wrestling hadn't been that in my lifetime. It was just where it was just like, there was no interference. It was just, hey, this guy wants to be better than this guy. Not nut shots, eye rakes, all this stuff. No, it was 2 guys that just wanted to be better than each other. And it was like, oh, that can be wrestling anymore. And I didn't know it could be wrestling anymore. And now, I guess the 5th time that this match is going to happen, it's going to happen on American soil in Arlington, Texas, which, if you know me, I pretty much count Dallas area as my home location because Oklahoma doesn't get big shows. So I fully expected this match to be announced. Don't get me wrong. When we were projecting All In this year, Kenny Omega versus Okada was in it. But now it's announced. Kenny Omega versus Okada, first night, first time on American Soul. Most of the Social Suplex will be there. You and your sister will be there. My wife will be there. And it's just like, I'm going to see it from the first row. And I've had a lot of fucking cool stuff happen to me as far as my wrestling. I don't think I can say anything compares to this. Like, that's not knowing any more of the card. We got 3 matches.
Exactly. And we've only got 3 matches.
We got 3 matches, and I'm good. I mean, of course I want FTR to have a match. No shit. But, in essence, this is about to be the life changer. This is about to be the thing. This is the bucket list moment. First row at a stadium show, Kenny Omega and Okada. And you legitimately have 3 main events for the show. Legitimately. You could, if you want to, we're talking about the last match of this show. If you go Moxley versus Hangman, fine. You go Mercedes versus Tony, which is my preference. Amazing. You go Okada versus Omega. Yeah. That's just, it's Okada versus Omega, title versus title. I mean,
New Japan just posted on their Instagram the match cards for each of the Omega Okada matches, like Wrestle Kingdom 11, where Kenny's got the briefcase on his shoulder, then Dominion, and then G1 Climax, and then Dominion the year after. It's like, fucking hell, man. Like, they're doing this in the States, and we're going to be there. It's just seeing these matches that I remember only being able to see online, like, the day after or whatever, because I couldn't stay up for the fucking shows because of it being in Japan. And now I don't have to worry about that because I'm going to be in the building for it. Like, the stadium's going to shake for this shit.
Yes. Three matches. All three can main event any show. Mm-hmm. Just think about that. I mean, this is what super shows kind of, have used to be. And it's just like, dude, anything else they add is very much the cherry on the top. And they're going to add a lot. They're going to add a shit ton. So, if we talk on about this, we got
to move on,
Yeah, this is the story, though. The show was great, but, I mean, when you talk about what came out of this...
We knew this was coming. It's just like, it's real. It's fucking real.
Yeah, and it's just like a lot of people, and I do know there are a lot of people who were on the
fence?
On the fence about going. They're on the Ticketmaster site right now.
Mm-hmm. It's a match that moves. It's a match that moves units, dude. It's a feud that moves units.
Because right now, when I checked, which was yesterday morning or yesterday evening, All In had sold over 16,000 tickets. This was going to be this was actually the big story of the week originally. All In has sold over 16,000 tickets. 16,079 tickets have been distributed. But once they announced that number's irrelevant. It's ancient. That's not going to be anywhere near the number.
We're going to check next week, and I guarantee you the number's going to go up.
I mean, literally, people have posted already since they announced it that they've bought tickets.
Hey, I just bought tickets.
Yeah, I just bought tickets. So we already know this number is an old number. And everybody's going to have their predictions. My whole thing has been 20,000. That's what I wanted since the very beginning. I think I might be low on the number now.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy that it's real, but we got to move on now to the actual Fyter Fest show, which was, 4 hours of just nonstop crazy shit that happened. First thing that happened was we opened the show with Tony Schiavone doing an interview with Will Ospreay discussing their little brawl after Dynamite went off the air, which they showed on Collision this past week. And as we got to him being in the ring, this promo was interesting, honestly. Ospreay had the emotion. He did some good stuff. His promos have obviously been getting better, but there is every once in a while where I feel like Ospreay has the ability where he'll get so wound up with his promo and so emotional with it, he may mince his words a little bit, where there was one line he said that when I heard it, I was like, oh, the Wolves are going to circle around this one. Was when he called out Jon Moxley, basically being like, he obviously said other stuff before this, like lining up basically about how AEW's been doing great stuff and they're back on the momentum basically, and he was building up how like we're riding high. Again, he said, quote, the only reason AEW sucks right now is because you're our world champ. Brother, I agree with you. You got to word that differently. Like, you got to word that a little differently. Here's a quick little edit. The only thing about AEW that sucks is you as our world champ. There you go. You're the only black eye, because that's what you were trying to say. But a couple words being changed over just makes it seem differently.
It's funny you say that, because online was like, hell yeah, preach. Because a lot of people... I
agree with him, though. That's the thing. I agree with him. Yeah. I'm just saying, you could have said that better.
And I just want to let everybody know, that means Moxley's doing his job. I'm just like, I like, no, this is, no, but yeah, I got it. Sometimes when you match the tone that you need to have in emotion, when you have those minor slips, people generally like can't skip over them, because you can have that. And like I said, I mean, I definitely hear it now that you said it. But when I was online and in the social suplex Discord,
I was surprised. Yeah, a lot of people didn't go off about it. Yeah.
No, they were like, yeah, because it does suck because of Moxley.
I agree. That's the thing. It's like I'm not even saying that he's wrong for what he said. I'm just saying you could have said that way better because there's going to be some hardcore haters. That's going to be their spank bank material for the next few weeks.
Oh, yeah, completely agree. Agree.
But the promo itself, I did enjoy. I still love how he's just basically being like, guys, the whole goal right now is get the title off of Jon Moxley. We have to. He's going to Swerve and Hangman. He's like, listen, I get it. You guys don't work well with each other. You don't want to work with each other. I'm asking for one night, retrieve the belt, then kill each other. You say it like that, it's simple. You just feel like, just listen to reason. I love that. He called out Swerve Strickland for next week to challenge him for a match next week at Summer Blockbuster. That's when CRU come out with Lio Rush and Andretti. Lio Rush challenged Ospreay to a match. I still feel like those guys being involved in this little ordeal for the last few weeks, they just kind of feel shoehorned in a little bit. I like Leo as a wrestler, Andretti as a wrestler as well. Character-wise, I just don't have anything to latch onto them right now, but they work well. I know they're good workers, but they just feel very shoehorned into this. But either way, I thought this was a nice little match to announce for tonight, though, to show that you're going to get Ospreay on the card, which, hell yeah. But either way, I like the way that Ospreay laid out everything in regards to trying to get the belt off Moxley, and you guys have to do work together. You gotta play Kumbaya one night just to be able to make sure that we do what's best for AEW. And that's his whole thing, is just, I'm doing what's best for AEW right now, not what's best for me.
The voice of reason, Will Ospreay. That means we're in dark times. Okay. No, this whole thing was amazing. I thought it was really, really, really well done. Ospreay on the mic. Yeah, I don't know why. I haven't heard it anywhere. I was like, Ospreay's going to be the reason Hangman doesn't win, isn't he? I don't know if he's going to turn heel.
That would be interesting.
Something's burning in me that says Ospreay is going to be the reason Hangman doesn't win. I don't necessarily know if that's a heel turn or accidental move, but it just seems like there's something there more than that's there, because it's just like, yeah, let's help Hangman win. That's cool and all, but, it's wrestling, so I'm always looking for more, So, no,
sure.
But I thought Will Ospreay delivered this well. This started off the show well. Got some energy going, and, it's like, hey, what's going to happen here? And then Lio Rush, you give me Lio Rush or Will Ospreay. Lio Rush is literally one of those performers I can watch anytime. Action and Andretti. You know what? I got to say this. I honestly thought he'd be gone by now or released or something. He had the quick win with Chris Jericho, and it just didn't seem like he was going anywhere. And this crew thing happened, and they're both awesomely douchey, so it works. But so I thought we might, get them attacking Will Ospreay, but then we just got Leo versus Will, and I kind of dig that.
Yeah, I also loved how Ospreay made fun of his fake tan. He's like, "I've got my fake tan on, bro. Let's just go tonight." Yes,
he was excited. He was excited for it.
He was ready to go. Yeah, he was ready to go. One thing I also forgot to mention too was that because this was basically kind of almost like a mini pay-per-view, with it being 4 hours long for Wrestling Today on TV, they actually did something, I will say, that has been kind of what WWE's been doing recently. They did it's not something that's exclusive to them, obviously. It's used in sports all the goddamn time. They stole it from sports. But the arrivals, wrestlers entering the building, basically. Like, it was a little thing I noticed that was just kind of something that stuck in my head. I was like, it's a little thing like it feels like it's something that AEW would do more of, since they try to go with more of a sports style of production and arrivals of athletes or wrestlers or talent coming through the building and just getting checked in or doing stuff like that. Seems like something they would have already done before, but I don't know if they've actually done it recently. It's just like a minute thing I noticed.
They don't do it as consistently as WWE has been doing.
I was going to say, they do it all the goddamn time now.
Yeah, that's a big thing. But a lot of, and again, this is going to come off as a shot at WWE, but it really isn't. But a lot of what they do is just kind of wasting time in their 3 hours.
It is true, yeah. It is true.
Like AEW tries
It's a wasting time sort of thing, yes.
Yeah, AEW tries to pack kind of as much as they can into their show. So it does come off different because, and that's not what WWE does.
Sure.
They actually try to give you as little as possible in their 3 hours versus trying to give you as much as possible in this one. And it's so funny because there are two camps, and I know there's a middle ground somewhere where there's this camp of people that says WWE doesn't give you enough, and then at the same time says AEW gives you too much. 4 hours, that's too long. I'm like, okay.
Money in the Bank has 4 matches announced for Saturday.
Let me tell you something you can do. And this is from your boy Floyd. Like, tonight was 4 hours. There was Dynamite, and then there was Collision. There was a clear stopping point on Dynamite.
Yeah, if you wanted to stop, you had a stopping point, basically.
Stop that. Watch Collision in the morning. Like, watch it within 24 hours. It still counts towards their like max reviews or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it happens within 24 hours, and it's in a better bite. Like, I have done it in my life where I've stayed up and was like, man, I'm going to make it through. And then if you ask me anything that happened in the last hour of that show, I'm like, dude, I was just trying to stay awake. So I've learned in life, just go ahead and go to sleep, wake up, don't look at anything, go watch the last hour of that thing where you can actually take it in. I talked about it at the last show. Like, I had to go back and watch the main event again the next morning because my whole focus was just staying awake. But I didn't, because that was my only focus, I didn't actually take in the match. I knew who won, but I didn't watch it. So, break it up. It's okay.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But we move into the first match of the show, which was Jon Moxley versus Mark Briscoe. Crazy how, we didn't get a lot of singles matches, honestly, overall, in terms of this night of wrestling. It was mainly just, multi-man or tag matches. Like, it was kind of crazy that this was, one of the few singles matches on the show. There was really good stuff here. I loved how Mark Briscoe was being able to fight off the Death Riders being at ringside. Yuta got his hand stomped on, which I thought was a nice little spot. The somersault dive through the ropes looked fucking wild from Mark Briscoe. There's a lot of close calls on the finishes. The J Driller, which Moxley actually kicked out of, was I think referee's hand hit, but they still called it a 2 count. And then there was another false finish towards the end that was also super close. There was ref you suck chance. I know that was how close it was, basically. But really, honestly, fast-paced stuff. Mark getting busted open pretty early and was doing some really good stuff, I felt like. And there was a close little roll-up that I thought Mark had a quick chance on. But eventually, though, Moxley was able to choke out Briscoe. And, yeah, it was pretty solid, honestly, for the most part. I love how much heat Yuta gets just every time he shows up. But yeah, and they did say too that that was the first time anyone has ever kicked out in AEW of the J Driller. It has not happened in AEW, so they made it a big deal that Mox kicked out of that. So
yes, and I don't have I thought the match was the match. I thought it was a good match.
It was all right.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. Things I was I'm more of the ancillary things that I saw. Ian Riccaboni, knowing how many times people had kicked out of Jay Diller, which is none, and then he was setting up to do the arm hang move.
Yeah. Which he said he's only done it a couple times. Ian knows his shit, dude. He knows his shit.
I'm all about Ian Riccaboni.
That's my guy.
So definitely, he was very valued. That group right there with him, Excalibur and Taz are very, very knowledgeable. So I think it adds a lot to the match. But the thing that I noticed, how they're like, Mark Briscoe's only been on the single journey for 18 months. He's still trying to get his legs under him. That right there was telling you they have big plans for Mark Briscoe in the singles division.
Feel like, yeah.
Who do they do that for? It's just like, I've never heard that like done. They usually do that for like young wrestlers where it's okay, he's still getting it. So they're basically saying, hey, he's still wet behind the ears being a singles guy. He's still learning how to be in this singles itch. I think there's a big time singles push. I don't know if it's going to be world title or one of the other titles.
No, he'll be a champion, I feel like, at some point.
Yeah, and it's going to, like, dude, he's going to do it. I feel like he's going to point to Jay. Everybody's going to be crying, blah, blah, blah. There's another wrestler. I feel like there's going to be a great run of a story in for later in the show. But I was like, now I see what they're doing with Mark Briscoe.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. We moved in next to the tag team match between Timeless Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa versus Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Good to see Julia and Sky teamed up again. Their little team they had before Sky got hurt was something I was a fan of, so I loved how they had her there. Shout out to the guy who brought the more gay wrestling sign, which works perfectly with Tony and Mina after what happened last week. Mina got the shit kicked out of her at some point at like a good amount of portions during this match. It felt like she was getting rocked, honestly. Then there was a point where Julia got hit with like a top rope, I think sling blade looking thing. It looked like it hurt. That bump looked like it sucked. And the whole while Mercedes Moné is at commentary and she's got a whole ass steak dinner that she's eating, like just enjoying herself. I love the point where Mina and Tony looked like they were going to start kissing. And I'm just like, guys, we can do that after the fight. Fighting now, kissing later. Like, fucking get your shit together. But in the end, though, some nice teamwork from Mina and Toni Storm. And then all of a sudden, Toni Storm locks in the TCM chicken wing, which, that's such a great name for a move for her. That's such a great move. Super fast paced, really good stuff. Obviously, it was dominated a good amount by Julia and Sky. They got some good works. I loved how Mercedes was taking selfies and shit like that and doing all that kind of stuff. And then after the match, Tony just runs up and just steals her dinner and just like is absolutely just making a fool out of it and just being like, and Mercedes is screaming, "You're classless! You're classless!" Yeah, so I thought this was pretty dang good. I like Tony and Mina, how they bounce off of each other, and I like the reactions that Mina is getting right now, just in her first few weeks of being a official AEW talent.
Yeah, Mina's she's gonna be fine, because the thing is, she's in this perfect spot where whether she wins or loses, she's still over. So yes. I think I love that for Mina. The biggest thing that came out of this that everybody's talking about is, I guess, the steak was well done. And
I didn't notice what the hell it was.
I didn't either. I was like, whatever. It's just, it was a prop. So I wasn't paying attention to the steak. And then Mercedes tweeted out the thing that made her the biggest heel in the world. She says, "I like my steaks well done."
Ugh.
I feel like that makes her a heel for basically everybody at that point.
Why would you do that? Why would you even remotely decide to do that?
Well, there was this guy, and I'm not going to say his name, that likes his steak. He likes his steaks well done with ketchup.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, some 5-star, Michelin star restaurants likes his steaks well done with ketchup. I mean, honestly, he's should probably be in jail, but it's true. So No, so Mercedes knew what she was doing there, and it was just like, oh, dude, I just love this. Why I love wrestling and Star Wars and Star Trek, dude. You think you have this little thing that no one's going to pick up on it. Yes, dude. Someone picked up on how the steak was cooked. I was like, there was a steak on the plate. I went to watching the match, and they're complaining about how the steak.
It's for the sickos, dude. It's for the sickos.
It is truly for the sickos. 4-hour show in one setting is absolutely for the sickos, and that's what I'm trying to explain to people.
4-hour show on TV for a weekday.
Yes, apparently the first 4-hour broadcast of like of a non-pay-per-view or whatever in television history, according to Tony Khan.
I mean, I can't think of the last time that's happened.
Yeah, like 3 hours is usually considered excessive. And AEW is like 4 hours. But they did 4 hours, but you only get in one show. So it's not like the other show where it's like 3 on Monday, 3 on Friday, 2 on Tuesday.
Right.
It's just one 4-hour show, and it's done. And I guess we're doing it again next week. But
yes, we are for Summer Blockbuster.
No, but I really enjoy this. I love this Tony Storm stuff. I think they're building well. I'm going to keep calling it. I know people want their women's tag belts. I completely agree with you. My thing is we need an all-woman faction. And I'm talking like a 4-woman, dominant, heel, all-woman faction. I mean, I just think there is something there that would add to this. Maybe Mercedes is the leader of it. Maybe use someone else. I have my own personal ideas, but it's not about my idea. It's just what I think the women's division needs. They need a way to get more women on TV every week, including Tony Khan. When you have a 4-hour show, right? You're doing 2 shows back to back. We should at least have 4 women's matches.
Yeah. It should be more steadied out. Which, I mean, I know girls like Harley and I think Anna maybe are taking breaks right now is what I've been reading.
Yeah, and there might be...
Even still, though, yeah.
4 women's segments. Let Willow cut a interview from home. I don't care.
Something. They did close out the entire whole ordeal with a women's match, and it was to debut a women's wrestler at AEW too. So
yeah, no, and that's what I'm just saying. You got a 4-hour show.
There should be more.
It should be more. I personally just it was the biggest theme of the night on Twitter until the announcement was made. How little women's wrestling was on this show.
Mm-hmm. It's always going to be the thing that gets nitpicked. I think it's been so much better than it has been in terms of women's wrestling being represented in AEW, but I agree with you. It doesn't give you, it doesn't mean you can't just rest on your laurels. You gotta still be able to keep it consistent. You
have to be purposeful with your intent on getting women's wrestling on the TV.
Yes.
And again, I want to make sure this is known. For me, I'm fine. I like what I like. I always want Willow on my screen. I always want Stat and all the other people.
I want Harley.
But there is a part of your fan base, part of your sicko culture, because you say your show is for the sickos, and the sickos are crying for more women's wrestling, so give the sickos more women's wrestling.
There you go. That's where it's got to be. We have a little backstage segment with MJF and Will Ospreay, as Ospreay is basically talking about how he's still trying to be making sure people are on the same page. MJF basically tells him to just, why are you acting like this? You know what you do when you see 2 animals fighting? You let them kill each other, and then you pick the scraps. And he's like, I'm not doing that. I have morals, blah, 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 blah. MJF brings up Will's son. He gets grabbed by Ospreay, and then immediately following is his Hurt Syndicate buddies who just show up to basically check on him and make sure Ospreay doesn't try anything. And then they kind of just walk away. And there's a nice little stare down between Bobby Lashley and Will Ospreay, which that's a tease. I'd love that match. I would love to see those 2 guys go at it. We then have the Hurt Syndicate come out. They basically question if anybody can even bother to come and match up against the Hurt Syndicate. Getting some really good heel reactions. I love the moment too where each of them was getting pointed to by MVP. Cheer for Bobby, obviously. That's his town. And then cheer for Shelton, booing the shit out of MJF. Great reaction out of it. honestly, I thought the whole segment was some of the best heel stuff that I've seen from the Hurt Syndicate since they've been in AEW. Because they've been getting babyface reactions basically this whole time. So this is the first time in a while they've actively like played the heel role, and they've played it well. And I thought it was getting good reactions too. MJF in this whole ordeal basically calls out Mystico for a match. That's when Speedball, Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander come out, and they want to challenge the Hurt Syndicate. But MVP is basically being like, laughing them off, like, yeah, fucking right. You guys need to earn a shot before you can get your hands on the Hurt Syndicate. That's when La Facción Innombrable, LFI. I'm just going to say LFI. I shouldn't just keep trying. I'm going to fail every time. LFI comes out, and they are going up against Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander. So they are the team that answers the challenge, basically. And this match was fun as hell. Honestly, might have been my favorite match of the entire night of wrestling. This shit was so fun. Everyone was doing so much good shit. Speedball was getting picked up by all three members of LFI and thrown to the outside. Was so fucking crazy. Kevin Knight still getting really good reactions, and people are really getting into him. And yeah, I thought this was just really good work. They get the victory, and then they confirm that, all right, you guys earned your challenge. You're going to face us next week, and we're going to give you a little preview of it. They come to try to beat up the baby faces after the match. Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander hold them off. MJF tries to get in there. They hold him off, dives to the outside. Such good shit, dude. So much fun watching those guys work together. This got the crowd going crazy, and honestly, I'm hyped for it. Everyone in this match got really good reactions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As far as the thing before, that was really cool. I love the MVP, whether they're leaning towards the face or they're leaning heel. He's always, you got to earn a match against the Hurt Syndicate.
Absolutely.
We'll fight you. You just got to earn a match. I thought that was cool. I love how MVP's kind of controlling Max to a point. Bobby versus Will. Yes, I need that match. I don't know if it happens when and where it happens. I need that match in my life. And that was cool. And, when Speedball, Kenny, and, Commander came out?
Yep.
Y'all know how I feel about Mike Bailey.
Yep.
Right, we're just going to move on. When they did the LFI match, I was like, okay, this is where the rubber hits the road. I need Roosh to win more.
I get it, yes.
Period. Roosh, he has the chant, he has the look, he has the physical style. That man...
He's got the work rate.
He has the work rate. That man, if you're not going to push him on AEW, push him on ROH. I don't care.
Something.
That dude, you're missing something there. Roosh is something. You have something with him, with the whole suit and how he comes out, and he has the catchphrase. I don't see what Tony doesn't see in Roosh. He seems like a very easily pushable person. So it's like he just shows up in these matches, and I know he didn't take the pin, but he still lost, and it's just like, it seems like there's a better use for Roosh. I absolutely know not everybody can get pushed at the same time. I completely understand that, but I feel like Roosh should be one of those people that he wins and wins and wins, and you build him up to a big match, then maybe he loses. It's like right now, it feels like you're not taking advantage of what you have with Roosh. I ain't not the biggest Roosh fan in it. Like, this is not me being a Roosh stan. It's just when you see him, the look, everything, that cape,
you
horn,
feel like he should be doing more.
He feels like a star that is just not being used. And I mean, again, I don't work there, so I don't know if there's political reasons behind it or what, or Tony just doesn't see it. But man, you're missing something not using Roosh better. And like I said, you could just be building him up to lose to someone. You could have him go on a winning streak and then build a big match with Kenny Omega. That would be fine. It just seems like you can do more with this guy.
Yeah, no, I respect that, honestly. Like I said, I enjoyed the match heavily, but I can also understand, wanting to see Roosh get more because, I mean, the dude's a beast. He's so damn good at what he does.
And he wrestles kind of differently than everyone else because he wrestles closer to like Mox, very physical, hard-hitting style, and it just seems like
I feel like one of the easiest feuds you could do that would lead to some damn good matches. I feel like imagine if they put a feud between Powerhouse Hobbs and Roosh.
Yeah, La Faction going after the trios titles. Oh my god.
Or the Ops versus LFI.
Yeah, that works for me. It's just like there's a better use for Roosh out there. It's just you have this thing, you have this group, you have the faction. They do the cool thing with the arms up. It's just like it seems like something whether heel or face your audience can get behind. And I'm just like I just see like more Roosh.
I get it. Yeah, I honestly get it. Also, shout out to MJF for promoting his Happy Gilmore role. He's going to be doing that for the next, basically until the movie comes out. And then even when the movie comes out, he'll announce it when it comes to digital. Or, I mean, it's going to be on digital because it's on Netflix. But if there's a DVD release or whatever, he's going to announce that. He's going to be talking about that movie for God knows how long.
And I got to tell you, I'm fucking excited for the movie. I'm a big Adam Sandler guy. I know.
Eminem's going to be in the movie.
Adam Sandler is one of those, you generally either like his movies or you absolutely hate him. I love his movies, so I'm really excited for that. Becky Lynch is in it.
She is.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to what they do.
And obviously, I'm a sports guy, so I see all the golfers that they put in the actual movie too.
Yeah,
so
yeah, let's fucking go. I'm excited for that too.
There you go. We then move into the best wrestler alive, having his open challenge, his who can survive 5 minutes against the best wrestler alive.
I really want JR. Wanted JR on the show, but he was super sleepy because this is what happened. Max started cutting his promo, and I was like, dude, I'm not going to use the word I used with JR because it's not appropriate for this. But I was like, I want Powerhouse Hobbs to come out and destroy him. Then the music hit.
You got what you wanted.
And JR was like, he's like, did someone link this to you? I was like, no, I was just talking shit. And it ended up being Powerhouse Hobbs. And I love this because it was an open challenge. Powerhouse Hobbs didn't come out in wrestling clothes. He was just back in the back, probably catering.
Yeah, he just showed up in street clothes.
Eating his medium rare steak, because you got to look like that, you got to put some protein in your body.
Absolutely. You got to have some blood come out.
Oh, somebody wants to fight? Cool. And then, in his same clothes, he just walks out there to fight Max. Yeah, I thought the little detail of him not even being in wrestling gear was amazing.
It's a nice little touch.
It's a nice little touch. And I don't even know I can't even tell you what move he did to finish it. It was like somewhere between a Uranagi and a spine buster.
It kind of looked like a rock bottom.
Yeah, and it was just over. And it was like, this is perfect. And it's so funny because somebody pointed this out, and I just noticed tonight, this Max is getting so over with this.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He's got to change the chant up because now people are actually doing his bad chant. The chant that's supposed to be bad and you can't do it because it's so poorly made. People are doing the chant. Yeah, because you're still doing it to a beat. It's still a boom, 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 boom. Like, he's got to do it where it's like, there are people that do bad chants at wrestling shows. We hear it all the goddamn time, and they do it where they're chanting it too slow, or their claps are off beat, or something like that. Like, that's how he's got to do it from this point onward, because the chant is getting over.
Yes. Yeah, I even said it. I was like, dude, when I'm at Dynamite 300, I'm going to be like, before the show, let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive. Yeah, because I dig it, and it's so
Yeah, he's got it. I feel like if he changes it to being like, let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive. Yeah, let's go, Max. Like, just like mix it to where it seems like you can't even keep the tempo of it. It's like, you guys messed me up doing the chant. Okay, I got to start it over now or whatever. Some bullshit like that.
Yes, and like I said, he might accidentally get over, which is crazy because this is like all he's doing is losing, and he's somehow getting over. So one of these times, I was like, even tonight, I was like, I understand they did what they did, But a little twist that I might have done is that Powerhouse Hobbs just kept beating on him until the referee DQ'd him, and then it was like Max finally gets a win.
Yeah, honestly, I get it.
Because he's got the shit beat out of him. But yeah, I think people will be cheering for him later.
I think you give it some time. Yeah, I think it's possible. Then we have the closing moment of the Dynamite portion of the show, and it's the 4-way for the International Championship between Kenny Omega, Claudio Castagnoli, Brody King, and Mascara Dorada. I mean, biggest thing I took out of this match was Mascara
Dorada, yeah.
He put on a show. He was wrestling his ass off.
I always talk about, like, there's an assignment going into a match.
This was the assignment.
The assignment was make sure everyone knows who this guy is at the end. And I am one of those people that they absolutely made sure. I was like, dude, the springboard into the Destroyer will never not be cool to me. I'm like, you could use it like an arm drag. It's just so, like, seems like it's physically impossible. You got a guy, he springboards off the ropes, then comes at you, grabs you, flips you over, and lands into a pile driver. Like, I'm explaining it, and it doesn't sound like that should be able to happen. Except
it seems physically impossible.
Yes,
but I just saw it happen, though.
Yeah, I just saw it happen, and it's just like, it's never not going to be impressive. It's never not going to be cool. It's never not going to be overused, because the amount of athleticism that it takes, I don't wrestle, the amount of athleticism that I assume it takes to pull that shit off, it may be easier than I think. I don't fucking know. It looks impossible, but they do it so effortlessly. It was like, man, it's fucking dope. Brody King, man. Brody King.
That's my guy.
Dude, how's he not? How do you watch a Brody King match? A guy that physical, that big, but that also that fucking athletic? Like, how do you not love him? You know?
Dude, I mean, like, I am so glad that he gets the reactions that he does, because I want him to do more. I want his War Dog shit or whatever the hell that he does, like, to lead to him getting a singles title.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, he is so good. He is so freaking good. And the great little moment where he literally sets up both guys. He sets up both Mascarada and Claudio in the corner by the railing, and then he goes and he hits him with a dive onto the railing. Shit looks so painful, and he's just so good. He's so fucking good. I love his work so much. I hope they continue to just have him either consistently doing stuff, or at the very least, just make sure you get this guy in a title picture at some point, because he's a fucking badass. He's just so menacing, and he cuts good promos too. That's the thing, is like his promos when he was in House of Black are pretty damn solid too. So, like, I'm all for more Brody King support.
Yeah, dude, I'm all about it. This match was amazing. I thought everybody got their shine. Claudio is a physical fucking freak too.
And hitting the swinging around Brody King.
Dude, people he is so deceptively strong and big. You don't pay attention to it because he was in WWE for so long and everybody's big there. So he didn't come off as big. But in AEW, where the wrestlers are a little bit smaller, he looks fucking huge, but he can still do that thing to Brody King. He's still as athletic all around. This was a perfect 4. This was like, they worked so well together. This was amazing.
Kenny, of course, looking like the great champion that everyone's got to overcome, but at the end of the day, you just can't, because he's Kenny fucking Omega. And then after the match, he retains his title, and then here comes Okada, and there's the face-off. They confirm we're getting a contract signing next week at Summer Blockbuster. It's finally, like we said, dude. I mean, like, it's been teased for so goddamn long. Everyone wants it so goddamn bad, and we have it. It's in our hands. It's gonna be happening in July.
And
let's fucking go.
And I need everybody not to make me a liar, because I said on this show, and Austin, you might remember this. If you announce Kenny Omega and Okada, you're gonna get to 20,000. I said that on this show.
Better not be a liar.
Don't make me a liar. Don't make me a liar. Go get your tickets now. Let's pack this motherfucker. Be as loud as anybody can.
Because again, too, you got to remember this is the first time this match is happening in the States. In Japan, the entrances are always like, everyone's very quiet during the entrances. I want to hear an eruption from the Texas crowd. I want to hear them go fucking banana for this shit.
Dude, I want these entrances, like Kenny Omega and Okada, deserve the entrances, like the big things. I just this feels like right now it feels like the Super Bowl of wrestling because, we've been waiting for years to get this match on America. And again, the 3 matches announced, any of them could go on last. Any of them could be the main event. I have no argument. I'm I even said I still believe if Tony and Mercedes. I was gonna say I keep wanting to say Mariah. Tony and Mercedes don't go on last, then I never think a women's match will ever go on last. Because
if there's a women's match to go on last, it's that one.
It's this one. It's I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not 100% saying it should, but like I said, if not this match, what else? Match? What else are you gonna build to this fucking level, right? But we got
the women's division. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So you've done it perfectly. Mercedes undefeated. Toni Storm coming off one of the greatest rivalries in women's wrestling history, and it's just this shit closed the show. But then you got 2 other matches that are, one's a generational match. One is the AEW, one is for the heart of AEW. It's there's a storyline for all of them. So I don't know what you're gonna do, but man, dude, I am so fucking just.
Can't wait for this shit, dude. I can't fucking wait for it.
I have a wrestling erection. Okay.
For real though. Yeah, honestly, for real though.
Yeah, my brain is like a diamond in the ice storm. It is rock hard right now for wrestling.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. That was it for the Dynamite portion of Fyter Fest. We transitioned right into the Collision portion of the show, which opened up with Will Ospreay going up against Lio Rush. And this was solid, I thought. Solid match. I knew, obviously, for a show like this, you want to get Will Ospreay on the card, and they did. And they did a good job with it. Lio, I've never given shit for Lio in terms of his wrestling. He's always killed it. That's always the one thing I've never gone after him for, is I know this dude can wrestle damn good. And this was good. It was giving him the chance to be able to just kind of show off and do what he can do against a guy like Will Ospreay, very similar work styles and stuff like that. Match was solid. Will Ospreay gets the win. Afterwards, Action Andretti starts jumping Will Ospreay, and that's when Hangman comes out and he saves the day, gives some help to Ospreay, but proceeds to go on microphone after he saves him and goes basically, I understand what Ospreay's trying to do, but I don't need help to win that championship I don't need help from anybody to win that championship. I certainly don't need help from the guy who's probably the worst human being to walk the face of the earth. And as he's saying that, Jon Moxley and the Death Riders. Well, Jon Moxley, first of all, appears like he showed up in a puff of smoke. I don't know where the hell dude came from. All of a sudden, he was just there. He was just there.
The camera work in AEW, the production in AEW is really great right now. I mean, I know last week they had the thing with Declan, but in general, they shot that perfectly, like you said, where Moxley looked like he came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Death Riders swarm and they get surround, and then the guy who says he doesn't want help from anyone to beat Moxley, Ospreay comes out after he just had his match and got jumped, and then hands Hangman a steel chair, and he accepts it. So I thought it was quite funny, though, that the Cowboy's I don't need help from anybody. And then Will's you're going to die. Take the chair. And he's fine.
Yeah, but his thing was, I will never accept help from Swerve. And I just I love that.
Yes, that was the big thing. Yes, obviously. Yes.
So I feel just speculating going further it's going to come down to a moment in that match that it's going to either be Swerve helps him or not, and we're going to see what happens there. So,
it feels like it just has to come down to that, man. It just feels like it has to.
Yes, absolutely.
But that was that match. We moved right into your boys, FTR, our boys, going up against Atlantis Jr. and Templario.
So, yeah, I got some stuff to say. MVP in his exuberance, excitement. You know, he was in front of Denver. He happened to accidentally refer to the Hurt Business as the best tag team of, I think, in the world.
Something like that, yeah.
Of all time or something like that. MVP's he's the OG. He's the big homie. He's MVP. You know, well respected by anybody. You know, he left WWE so he could go work in New Japan. All due respect to MVP. Don't get your boys dropped on their head. I'm just saying. My boys.
Don't be saying shit, dude, that you can't back up.
Dax, Cash, and Big Stoke, they watch the monitors. They watch the show. I know people be big timing and they be back there and they pretend like they don't watch the show. But Dax, Cash, and Big Stoke, they watch the show. And it's like, you know, they heard that and they had other business tonight, so they let it slide out of respect for MVP. But, you know, just watch your mouth. I like Sheldon. I like Bobby. Bobby's got a big neck, but you know, big necks can be broke too. That's all I'm saying. You know, so this match was classic FTR. The finish went a little wonky. I think they were going something. I think they were going something for the finish. I mean, it still told the story that they did, but I think Dax was supposed Dax. Dax pulled his leg. I think he was supposed to hold on to his foot for the 3.
Seemed that way, yeah. Well, and also, too, I'm pretty sure during the match, their tag rope broke.
Yes, it definitely broke. I thought this match was great. I have heard, because I pay attention to everything, I have heard that some people out there may think FTR doesn't have the greatest match with Luchadors. I felt like this match, they took a step forward in that. Shout out to Atlantis Jr. and Templario. You know, they stepped their game up to FTR's level. You know, almost anyway. You know,
it was close.
You can't get on FTR's level. That's just weird. That's like saying I play basketball as good as Michael Jordan. You can't, you know, you can do a reasonable facsimile. So they stepped their game up, and they gave a great effort. But I just thought this match was like, okay, what can FTR do kind of thing. And I thought it was a really good match. And, you know, if this match was for a title or something, I think they would have got more time. But I just felt like it was like the purpose of this was to get to Mexico and whatever they were going to decide to do. But, yeah, I really did enjoy this match. I don't know if I remember it all the way. I know I just watched it, but I don't feel like they built up. I don't feel like they really built up to a hot tag.
No. It just seemed like it just kind of got to a level and then it just kind of stopped.
Yeah, and it was just like I said, when it comes to wrestling, the traditional style, that's where FTR is the best. But I like this, you know, slightly different tag team style. They seem to be able to execute that too, so I was very happy about that.
And then, of course, Dax being the best person in the planet, talking shit to a fan on his way back, and then lays down on the entrance ramp, dogging the guy, being like, go ahead, come over here, pin me.
Yes, and it was, he said, he started off, he's like, I mean, he's such much more of a natural. He's like, F you, and said something like that. It was so good. They're just so good. It's just, sometimes you need someone to step outside of their role. So when they go back to their role, you realize how elite it is. And it's funny because FTR's whole goal is to be hated right now, right? And they seem to be building their fan base by being hated.
That's by doing exactly the thing that made them big in the first place, which being the most able motherfuckers.
And you're seeing it on Twitter. It's like, you're seeing people get behind them, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Wrestling's fucking weird at times, especially in 2025.
Oh, it can be very, very weird in 2025.
Yes.
That's for damn sure. We moved into Proto Shida, Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita going up against going and teaming up with Hechicero. Shout out fucking Hechicero. Also, when they announced this whole ordeal happening, Kyle Fletcher was giving the weirdest fucking faces as they introduced Hechicero. He was doing all these weird fucking things. He's absolutely having a laugh.
Dude.
And they had a trios match against Los Outrunners and Bandito.
Yes, it's kind of funny. I've heard older wrestlers say this. Anytime you're on screen, you can affect what's going on. Anytime you're on screen, you can get over. Anytime you're on screen, you can make a moment. Kyle Fletcher definitely...
He makes the most out of his time.
Yeah, he gets on that screen, and there was no reason anybody should be paying attention to him. But he fucking killed it. He's doing his thing, making all the funny faces and all the looks. And, yeah, I thought it was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. Because he was just like... Hechicero's still there, but you're paying attention to him. And shout out to Hechicero's shirt. I don't know if it's going to be on Shop AEW.
That was fire.
Yeah, his shirt was amazing. All the colors on it. I was like, oh, yeah, I want that shirt.
I should put it up there. You'll get a buyer right there if you just do it right there.
Yeah, give me that Hechicero shirt on Shop AEW. Yeah, I needs that shit.
Yeah. But, yeah, so they went into a match against Los Outrunners and Bandito, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and I love the fact that they were doing some really, really good stuff in this match. The rope walk from Truth Magnum. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Hechicero and Takeshita, come in and they're able to do a nice little save. I like that they're actively referring to Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher as a tag team name, actively showing that they could go ahead and do shit in the tag team division. But yeah, everyone was able to get some good stuff in. Having Hechicero in this match was fun. And yeah, I thought this was a damn good match. And from our good old Collision boys, Outrunners, who just love doing shit on Collision, they're always on the show. It feels like every single week.
Outrunners. The great thing about them, they kind of just accept their spot, and I dig it. And they make every moment, and they're exciting, and they're this utility thing. And it's like if you ever need a tag team to build a big moment or build to, they're going to be great for it because they're so fucking enjoyable and they're so likable.
Yeah, no, honestly, I got nothing else to say about that. They're just good at what they do. They're just really, really good at what they do. We then moved on to Anna Jay. First of all, they recapped the street fight between Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, and Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. They were backstage, and basically they were like, hey, look who we have. And they got Anna Jay, and they drag her out. They pull her out to the stage. They're looking like they're going to throw Anna off of the stage. But then we get a returning Ty Mello. Comes in, makes the save, and chases off the heels. And, I mean, this is a girl, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think she's wrestled in over 2 years.
She has not wrestled in America in 2 years. She did do...
Okay.
She was at the Dome this year. And she
I was going to say, she was in Japan, I thought, but in AEW, on an AEW show.
She has not wrestled.
She's not wrestled in, I think, over 2 years.
Yeah, and even my figures are set up where Anna Jay and Tay are next to each other. Tay J was the team. When they announced this, when she came out, I was just so happy for her. No, she had the baby. She was off for years. She's been constantly trying to get into shape. Her and Sammy on like Instagram and YouTube. They're a great follow. They're very funny. But I was glad she came out. She came out with the Brazil
face paint,
and just rocking her, and she's crazy. So she, of course, is not scared of Megan Bayne. Dude, I was like, man, they're about to announce the women's tag belts. That's all that came through my head. I was like, dude, TJ's back.
Another tag team.
Yeah, another tag team. I was like, that's what's coming.
It feels like it's setting up a little bit, man. It feels like it's lined up to be like that. But we go in next to the Ring of Honor TV Championship 4-way match between Nick Wayne, Sammy Guevara, husband of Ty Mello, and then Lee Johnson and AR Fox. Only thing I take out of this, dude, AR Fox is building momentum. Correct. This dude is fucking getting chances, getting spots, getting opportunities, and bro, crowd was going fucking nuts for AR Fox.
Dude, AR Fox will show anyone in AEW. The dreaded Guantanamo Bay, they've talked about it forever. You can work your way out of it.
Yeah.
He's on TV every week now. Every time he's out there, he doesn't win. So I was gonna say win, lose, or draw.
He doesn't win, but he's on everybody. But he gets over.
Dude, and he takes his minutes and he maximizes it. Whether it's in a trios, whether it's in a fatal 4-way, whether he's just losing, he maximizes minutes. And guess what? When you're trying hard and you're athletic and you can do all this stuff, fans notice and they get behind you. And there was AR Fox chance, and there's been AR Fox chance for the
been that way, dude. It was in Detroit. We saw it in Detroit,
dude. Strong. He. I don't know what they're gonna do. Again, one thing I know about wrestling that you can't push everybody, right?
Yes.
But there is gonna be a period of time where you're gonna need somebody to build up to a big match. AR Fox is gonna be that guy. I was talking about Briscoe, where it's like they're laying the groundwork for a Briscoe title run. AR Fox seems to be laying his own groundwork for a run, and he absolutely should be in the C2 next year, and he should absolutely have a strong showing, because this man has kicked ass. And like I said, again, whether Guantanamo Bay is real or not, whatever, but that motherfucker was off TV and he was healthy for a long time, and then he came back and he lost and he lost and he lost, and then he lost in Spectacular Faction, and he keeps losing, and he's losing with Top Flight, and all they do is lose. But every time he has a match, after the match, win, lose, or draw, guess who they're talking about? AR Fox.
Yeah, it's just, you give him a couple wins now moving forward. You give him a couple big matches that he comes out on top of, and you just give him some momentum.
Yes.
You got something there. I think there's still some people that might need to get sold on him personality-wise, but that can be taught. I feel like that's something that I feel like he can handle that, and I'm not concerned too much.
Dude is just so freaking athletic, and he's just so good at this, so good at wrestling. It's just like, eventually, if you pay, especially in AEW, in ring, your talent will win out if you just bust your ass.
Oh yeah. No question about that. But yeah, match itself was really well done. I love how Nick Wayne is able to just get this fire in him. I love how he's been presented coming out of the Best of the Super Juniors. They really built up about all the work that he did in that tournament. I loved how Christian basically said, great performance, but he didn't win. And goes back in there and still shines as the TV champion of Ring of Honor. I love Sammy Guevara still doing his thing. Getting him on TV more, I'm all in favor for it, because I still think Sammy's awesome. Lee Johnson, he had some great moments too to shine in this too. I know he's probably the one that got the lesser in terms of the shine. But he's still got time to get his shit in.
Yeah, Lee Johnson he's on the developmental end, right? And it's just there's probably, I feel like, long-term plans for Lee Johnson as there, but I do think he has to do a little bit better maximizing his minutes. Like, he can literally watch AR Fox, and dude, you should do something spectacular in each match where, even if you lose, where I'm talking about you after the match. And right now, I don't think Lee Johnson does that. And I think he can learn from AR Fox in that way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Ricochet was also on commentary for this match, too, talking a little shit. Talked about the loyalty that he loved that about showing loyalty from guys like Christian Cage. I thought was funny. But yeah, really good match. And then we get to the main event of Collision, which is the debuting of the Toxic Spider, Tekla, from Stardom. So yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like we said, we need more women's matches. Like, if you're going to do a 4-hour show, you should have at least 4 women's matches. That being said, though, they closed out the show debuting a new talent in AEW. Obviously, one that's familiar to people if you watch Stardom, but the one that's new to the AEW audience. And yeah, match itself was pretty solid. She went up against Lady Frost. Good to see her on TV. Match was all right. Nice little debut for her. Obviously, getting all of her moments over. Her doing her spider walk upside down. And I love her finisher. I love the submission finisher she has, honestly. But it was a nice little presentation to debut Tekla. They've obviously got a lot of faith in her. They've got a lot of support they want to throw into her. But yeah, it wasn't a squash match or anything like that, but it was a match for a debuting wrestler. You knew she was going to come out on top. Interesting way for the show to close out, though.
I got to say this. I'd kind of rather it been a squash match, and it just wasn't the close of the show. You know that, right? You know this wasn't the close of the show, right?
Was it not? Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad.
I was like, there was a whole nother match.
Honestly, I kind of completely forgot about that match.
Oh, dude, after the announcement, I saw so many people say they were checking out of the show. On Twitter, in our Discord, so many people like, oh, I'm done. You're like, 4 hours is a long time. And it was 4 hours, and they did an overrun. But let's talk about Tekla. She looks great. She looks physical. I think you got to introduce the character more to the fan base. And, you know, they did their best with the vignettes and where she come from and all that stuff. But it's like, you know, yeah, she needs to be on TV literally every week till when from you're going to do, so she can develop her fan base. Because unlike a lot of people, you can tell don't know who she is. And I do think she has this, I think she has that it factor that you want to look at her, you want to see her wrestle, you want to see her do her thing. So while everyone's trying to get to know her, make sure you're taking advantage of that, and she's wrestling a lot.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. But yes, this didn't close the show. I straight up forgot about this final match. It was the trios match. Actually, it was an 8-man tag match between the Paragon and Daniel Garcia going up against the Don Callis family.
And once you saw what 4 of the Don Callis family it was, you
it's Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta, Lance Archer, and Josh Alexander.
So it's the pin eater section of the...
just a little bit.
Yeah, it's the pin eater section. So you're like, oh, okay. You know, Paragon's
to be the last match be the last match after 4 straight hours of wrestling, it had a lot it needed to live up to. Obviously, Adam Cole's amazing. Daniel Garcia's great. Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong are great wrestlers. Paragon is not a faction that's like crazy over right now, but people love Adam Cole. That's for damn sure. And and Daniel Garcia's damn good too. So
I don't have any question about this match because honestly, I had watched too much wrestling. I kind of zoned out.
Well, at this point, man, it needed to be like a fucking slap and a half for people to feel like engaged doing it for it to be the closing match. Like, it just wasn't that.
Yeah, I remember a spot where Daniel Garcia was punching everybody and doing the dance, and then Lance Archer kind of slammed him. That's pretty much all I remember. Next thing I remember, the bell was ringing, and then they announced Paragon as the winner. I couldn't even tell you how they won. I can't even tell you who got the pin. I don't know any of that because it was just like this is 4 hours.
Adam Cole hit the last shot on Rocky Romero.
This is 4 hours of wrestling. It was too much. Like, yes. I get it. Like I said, there is this world, there is a happy medium between enough and too much. An overrun on a 4-hour show where you're literally, like, if you're on the East Coast where where Austin is, you're literally at midnight.
Yes.
Cut that the fuck out. Don't do that anymore. I know they can watch it in the morning, but goddamn it, show that you respect people's time.
Like, it's too much. It's too much.
I work overnights. I'm up at this time already, and I still checked out. I was like, this match is going to happen. This team's going to win. The team I thought was going to win. That's fine.
And there you go.
I honestly, they announced the contract signing for next week. I feel like they should have just, with the big announcement, they should have just did the contract signing at the end of the show, not necessarily another match.
Yeah. Which I feel like that's how honestly what they might do to close out the show.
Yeah.
Next week.
Because we have another 4-hour show. So yeah.
Yes, because we're gonna have we're gonna have Summer Blockbuster next week in another 4 hours.
Yeah. So great thing about Summer Blockbuster next week, because I was originally going, I'm actually off, so I get to sit at home and watch the 4 hours uninterrupted, which is gonna be amazing. So for me, and when I was looking at it, I was just like, yeah, you don't need this overrun. And I know.
That being said, though, how are you gonna have a show be called Summer Blockbuster and it's taking place in Portland, Oregon?
Summer Blockbuster taking place in Portland, Oregon, and guess what it's not yet? Guess what season it's not yet?
Technically summer?
Yeah, June 21st.
Yeah, we're still technically not in summer yet. Summer break's about to happen for a lot of people right now, but...
I just like when they throw names on stuff. That's what I love about AEW. Hey, we're going to do we're going to do Beach Break in Chicago. We're going to do Summer Blockbuster in Portland.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. And it still draws, so it works.
Yeah. Really, honestly, a fun night, a fun Fyter Fest, but a night that's only going to be remembered for confirmation. We're getting Omega Okada in Texas. Correct. I feel like that's the biggest thing that people are going to take away from this entire night.
Dude, I think it was an enjoyable show of wrestling. Again, I do think this. This is more fan service thing. You have the group that's on the first 2 hours in, all that. Tell them they should have announced when they were about to end of the second hour that you were going to have to go on Max and switch from Dynamite to Collision. Because I know a lot of people missed like the first few minutes of Collision because they didn't know what the fuck was going on, because on Max it just said the show has ended. You're like, oh. So you had to back out and then go into the Collision episode if you're using Max. Feel like they should have thrown that out there. Like
just a little bit.
Excalibur or somebody throwing that out there. Again, that's fan service. Has nothing to do with the quality of the show. But that's just a little fan service you could have threw in there. Because I figured it out. But, this is kind of what I do for a living. So,
just a little bit.
Yeah, so it was very easy and quickly for me. I transitioned. But for the people that don't know, they thought the show it was over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly. But that was Fyter Fest. Real quick for Summer Blockbuster, they did announce we're getting Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland 2. We're going to get the Hurt Syndicate of Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and MJF, their first match as a team, teaming up to face Speedball Mike Bailey, Commander, and Kevin Knight. And then we're going to have Timeless Tony Storm going up against Julia Hart with Mercedes Moné on commentary. And like we said, too, contract signing for Omega Okada will also be on the show as well. So, it's going to be a nice setup anytime we get some Tony Storm on TV, and they're doing a really good job with the build of Mercedes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's getting a lot of energy, and hopefully we get Swerve, because we didn't get our Swerve music tonight. I do. No. I am going to have a little FOMO because I was supposed to be at this show, and Swerve and Will Ospreay. I saw one. No? Did I see one? Yeah, I think I saw one. Didn't we? That was a Double or Nothing, right? No, that was. Yeah, I think
it was at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
So I didn't see one. So this is two. But whatever. I'm going to get to see it at home, and I'm not going to be working, so I get to see it uninterrupted. So I am very happy for that. Another 4-hour show. I imagine there's going to be I think there's 6 things announced, so there's probably going to at least be 6 more things announced before next week.
At least. Yeah. At least. We've got a couple other things we want to touch on in terms of headlines. I know there's one thing everyone's waiting for us to talk about, which happened just recently.
Yes. So Mariah May, The Glamour, debuted.
Yeah, whatever the hell her actual name is at this point.
She debuted on NXT this week. There was a big fight between all the women in the roster. JC Jane, the current NXT Women's Champion, was standing in the middle of the ring, and on the platform was Mariah May.
Lights go out, and then she shows up.
Yeah, and then she came to take over, and she said the NXT just got more glamorous, and it's funny. Because I can honestly say, tribalism comes naturally to me. because I am a sports fan. Again, you know, you understand it. You're a Detroit fan, so it's like fuck Green Bay, fuck Chicago, and you know me.
Fuck the New York Knicks fans. Good job firing your coach, you dumb motherfuckers.
There you go.
You're gonna be ass.
Okay, so tribalism comes to us, but again, sometimes people do things the right way, and I have no choice but to accept it. Mariah May signed with AEW to a 2-year deal, pretty much with the intention of building her profile to go back to WWE. I feel like that it was understood on both sides that she was hoping. Of course, AEW was like, if we treat her right, maybe she'll stay. She did in 2 years. She became champion in London. I happened to be there for it. That's kind of cool. I was there for her win and her loss or whatever.
You met her too, which I fucking hate you for.
Twice. So no. And she comes in, she tells them, hey, I'm not re-signing. She does the Hollywood ending, which is weird because
honestly a perfect way to go out.
Yes, and it might end up being the women's match of the year. And she might be a part of the AEW women's match of the year and not be in AEW, which I think that just think how cool that could be. Because think about it, if she goes and has a banger in NXT, she could end up being the AEW women's match of the year and the NXT women's.
It's very possible.
So shout out to her. She did everything right. She never badmouthed AEW. Even when she wasn't showing up, she said she was on vacation. Dude, she did it right. She signed with WWE, which everybody has the right to switch jobs. Showed up. They got the pop. Congratulations, Mariah. Again, in the black culture, they have this thing is like, if you like it, I love it. That's a common black statement. It's like, it's not necessarily something I would do, but if it makes you happy, I'm happy for you. So if you like it, I love it. That's how I feel about Mariah with NXT. Again, not something I would do. I don't, and like me forecasting wrestling, right?
Right.
And this is like 100% me trying to be as intimate. I don't see where she fits in WWE. There is a lot of talent in WWE.
She's going to have to fight for a lot of real estate.
Yes.
That being said, she's a gorgeous blonde who can also wrestle.
Yes. It sounds like this person named Tiffany Stratton. That was my problem.
Yeah.
They already have that.
I agree. But I don't think WWE's ever going to turn down a gorgeous blonde.
Yeah, I was going to say they have that. They have Charlotte. I'm like, yeah, they're not going to turn her down. I'm just saying, I hope she gets everything that she wants out of this.
Absolutely, and I hope she gets as someone who has loved Mariah May since she showed up in AEW, I hope the crowd realizes what kind of a talent she is, and she gets over. I hope the crowd realizes what they have on their hands, and and I hope they also don't just try to be like, yeah, we love her because now she's ours. Like, love her because she's Mariah May. And that's what you got to be like.
The introduction pop was amazing. People obviously knew who she was. So I am excited for what they do in the future. I think she'll be NXT champion fairly quickly, especially with who they currently have as champion. But like I said, it's not about that. It's about, like, for her, I mean, I don't think her goal is to be NXT champion. Her goal is to be WWE champion and get a WrestleMania moment.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I wish all the best for her. Again, when you do things the right way, if you're trying to be a fair person, you literally have nothing to criticize about Mariah. She got what she wanted out of the deal. AEW got what they wanted out of the deal.
Yeah, pretty much. Then we got a couple other things to touch on real quick.
Yes. Let's see. Oh, June birthdays. So June's my birthday month. So I don't do this often, but if you're born in June, you're going to definitely get a shout out from me because that's what I do. Happy birthday to, and I'm not putting the dates on here because there's so many of them, Red Velvet, The Blade, Alicia Toot, Ross Von Erich, Megan Bain, and John Silver. Happy birthday. I actually, on Monday, I did a WWE meet and greet at a Cricket with the birthday boy, AJ Styles, because his birthday is June 2nd. And most important, happy birthday, and she'll probably get another one then, to my birthday buddy. This person's born on the same day as me, but, like 10 years 10, 12 years later. Miss Deanna Perrazzo, happy birthday to you. And she did she ran up some 105 flights of stairs for a charity with her husband, Steve Macklin.
Shout out.
Oh, dude, she's fucking legend. It's funny because people are like, where are you at? And she's like, if you follow her on Twitter, she is one of the busiest, most active women out there. She's still working on her master's degree. Yeah, like Deanna is like, she'll be ready when TK gives her the call to come to action. She actually does compete on ROH. So if you're a ROH subscriber, make sure you check that out. But when TK calls her and says, hey, we need you in AEW on Dynamite, or if they do a tag team tournament and they need her, she's going to be ready because she stays ready. So now, shout out to Deanna. I've always liked her. I've always thought she was amazing. And I hate all the shit that she gets online because, she's super talented, in-shape wrestler. I don't know what you want from her. And then the last thing was AEW All In was over 16,000 tickets. I think we talked about that earlier. I think that's going to be a very old number. It's going to be a very, very old number that we're never going to talk about again. But yeah, if you're interested in going to All In, look into tickets now. StarCast has a hotel that they put out today, the Hilton Arlington, which is hilarious, right?
Yeah,
we booked it months ago. We booked it months ago, and they picked our hotel. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Also, you'll be listening to this on June 5th. They are gonna start announcing the talent, the meet and greet talent for StarCast. Yes.
So yeah. But that is going to do it for this episode of All Things Elite, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the support. If you enjoy the show, give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish, whether you listen to us on Spotify, YouTube Music, or Apple Podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe. Turn on automatic downloads so you don't miss a single episode. And follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. Follow us at Social Suplex to make sure you check out all the other shows that are on this amazing network that we have. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees, get a t-shirt, sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Links are in the description of the show. I'm going to pass it off to my buddy Floyd as I eagerly wait my Switch 2 to arrive at my front door.
Nope.
I will talk to you guys later. And Floyd, you can take us home on this episode of All Things Elite.
Oh, dude, I'm excited for you to get your Switch too. You don't get this amped about a lot of things, so I am very excited for that. But everybody, again, I say this often. If you listen to this show, this seems like this happens every few weeks. But tell the people in your world that you love them and that you care about them and they're important to you. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't say it because they're like, obviously that person knows. Obviously they know I love them. Obviously they know they're important to me. Obviously. It's not always obvious. And when people are going through things, whether, going through mental struggles or just having a hard time at work or at school or life's getting them down, those messages telling them that, hey, you matter to me, that you're important to me and all that stuff really does help. I've been told this many times that it does help. I am lucky enough to be surrounded by some amazing people in my world, including the person that I do a podcast with, that are there for me when I need them, and they're always there to offer a kind word if I need something. So just understand, use your circle. I know a lot of people like, oh, I keep my circle small. That's fine. I have a big circle. That's fine. Whatever you decide, but whatever it is, you should support each other and help us through the dark time. I wouldn't say dark times, but the down times, the highs, the lows. Be there for it all as we get into the summertime and it's going to get fucking hot. Attitudes come out when it's hot. So it's good to have people that know around you that can be like, hey, dude, it's just hot. Chill the fuck out. So we're definitely going to probably be saying that July 12th in fucking Arlington, Texas, because I doubt it will be cold that day. So to that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it is home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.